What's going on, Comic Book Nation? I'm Jim Viscardi. That's Jamie Lovett, and today we are talking about HeroClix. Fine folks at WizKids sent us the newest set, Avengers, Defenders, War, which includes a ton of different figures. We've unboxed a whole bunch of them. We're going to show you our favorites. In this set includes, obviously, Avengers, Captain America, Iron Man, no Thor. Defenders, like the ones, the classic ones, Doctor Strange, Hulk, and maybe some of the ones you found on Netflix. They're called Marvel Knights in this set though. First one that we got is Man-Thing, and this is probably the Office favorite sculpt right here. He's got the, obviously, fire in his hands. He's got the texture all on his back. It's all in his mossy greatness. Jamie, why don't you tell us a little bit about that figure?
So, in addition to being a horrible swamp monster, Man-Thing was also part of the Defenders for a while. So, he is a kind of their transport, or not really transport. He moves around the battlefield a lot, poisoning people, getting in melee combat. He also has a mechanic that's shared between all the Defenders in this set, which is when they use their team ability, which typically lets them share defense, thematic, they can get other powers and boosts, like, in his case, protection from things like mind control and such. So he's a really good figure if you're trying to build a big Defender swarm team type of deal.
Yeah, no, the cool thing about this set is there's a huge mix of contemporary and classic costumes, figures, etc. One of the more contemporary ones is a version of Captain America we've seen just a little recently, I guess about, what, 2 years ago now? Is it?
Yeah,
maybe a year or two ago? Old man Steve Rogers in his Winter Soldier suit and a stick that looks like he's telling people to get off his yard. Jamie, tell us a bit about that one.
So usually a Captain America figure you expect to be out in the front lines, punching people, throwing his shield. Because this is Old Man Steve Rogers, this is a really different kind of Captain America figure who actually sits in the background, helps your...
Sipping sweet tea,
helps your people on the front lines take more actions and has support abilities. So he's a kind of backline leader Captain America as opposed to the usual frontline leader Captain America, which is a very cool way to do something different with the character.
I'm a huge fan of like the big bulky sculpts just because they feel really cool in your hands. And someone from the world of Black Panther we got is Man-Ape. So we got Man-Thing, Man-Ape. Again, another like nice bulky figure. You can feel all the textures on it. It's painted great.
So Man-Ape, you know, if you're going to be a Black Panther villain, you have to be able to hold your own in hand-to-hand combat, and that is exactly what Man-Ape does. He has a suite of close combat powers, and then in addition to that, he has a traded steel energy, which basically means every time he hits your opponent, he's going to heal up. So it makes him very hard to kill and very dangerous up close. So, you know, bring it on, T'Challa.
So that's a good figure to have.
Yeah, that's a pretty good figure if you're looking to fight a Black Panther.
You got lucky. It would not be a Comicbook.com HeroClix unboxing if we did not show you a character that was absolutely ridiculous and one that I am glad they made a figure of, and it is none other than Razor Fists himself, Gladiator. Jamie, let's hear about Gladiator.
So you would think a guy with Razor Fists might be somebody in close combat you want to avoid, and that's more or less true, but the cool thing about Razor Fists is you can shoot him out. So what he gets to do, he has a power that is basically the equivalent of a Blade's Claws power, but except where Blade's Claws can only be used in close combat, he can use it at range. So basically you're throwing razors at your opponent from, you know, 5 squares away, which is always fun.
Right. This is not a guy you want to meet in a Home Depot. Just really, if you see him, turn around, run away. Last figure we're gonna do a quick close-up of is a personal favorite character of mine. Sorry, Jamie, we didn't pick any of your personal favorite characters for this set, but Nighthawk. Nighthawk is one of the original or original-ish Defenders. Guy who gets a super bad rap, and I'm glad to see, and it's one of those things where it's not just an up-down, standing, posing figure. He is in motion, flying, and I think his figure is pretty cool to boot. Jamie, what do you think?
Nighthawk is, you know, he's the quintessential Defender, and he shows that he's got that shared Defender's trait, and it's one of the best ones because when you use it, you can just re-roll dice afterwards, and re-rolling dice is always a huge thing in HeroClix. In addition to that, he shows that he's the team strategist by having some support powers like Outwit. So if you're a Defenders fan, if you're going to play Defenders, you probably want to have a Nighthawk on you.
Another cool thing about this set that we're going to sort of go to in next is there's a lot of, you may be looking at this sort of second line of figures and being like, whoa, you guys got a bunch of duplicates. But yes and no. I'm going to pick up these two Vision figures. For example, we've got a Vision with a solid yellow cape and a translucent yellow cape. Now, Jamie, what the hell is that all about?
So this set continues the use of a mechanic that WizKids introduced a year or two ago called shifting focus, where they will create different versions of the same character that from turn to turn you can swap out between to do different things. So in the case of those Visions, translucent cape Vision is the transporter and traveler who can bring your team up front. Then once you're in battle, you can swap to the other Vision, who is just somebody who's going to beat you down at close combat. So there's kind of a Vision for every scenario, and that plays out across most of the other classic Avengers and Defenders in the set. There's a smarter Hulk versus a more vicious Hulk. There's a couple Doctor Stranges, a couple Black Panthers. So I'm always a fan of any mechanic that lets you use more figures more often, so I'm a real big fan of shifting focus.
Cool fun fact here for folks. There are two Black Panthers, one black, one blue. When Black Panther was first created, black ink was originally used for outlines, and so they couldn't just have a solid black character, and so to play with the light a little bit, Black Panther was often seen blue, and it's really cool to see a nice comics throwback in that way. We're getting a sort of a lighter blue Black Panther and obviously our classic black. We also have, you know, your fine suite of regular Avengers, so Captain America, Iron Man, Hawkeye, and Black Widow. We've got some villains, and obviously, you know, you can't go with a HeroClix game without some fodder. A ton of hand ninjas, some Atlanteans, and some Wakandan warriors as well. Now, we did sort of reserve off a little section right here, obviously for the Marvel Knights, also known as the Netflix Defenders, or Defenders in a Marvel comic coming to a comic shop near you in just about a month. Pretty cool things. We've got obviously the classics here, Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Elektra, and Punisher. Now for Elektra and Punisher, we again have that same thing that Jamie was talking about earlier. In one, I think one Punisher is holding a bazooka and the other one's just holding a knife.
In addition to the randomized boosters, you can also get, if you just really want to run a Marvel Knights Netflix-inspired kind of team, it comes pre-packaged as a Fast Force. This is the Marvel Knights Fast Force. It comes with a Iron Fist, Punisher, Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Elektra. They can form, I think, a 300-point team. And yeah, they're playable right out of the box. They have similar sculpts to the ones that are on the table here, but they have their own unique dials. So if you buy this and then get some here, you still have very different figures that you can play. It's not like you're doubling up. It's very cool. And then on the other side, you have, this is a dice and tokens pack. They're basically thematic game accessories. You need dice to play HeroClix, so if you're playing a Marvel Knights team, why not a pair of dice that have the Marvel Knights logo in the 6 slot to really show off when you get a critical hit. And then there are the tokens, which have the same characters from the Fast Force on one side, and then the Marvel Knights logo on the other side.
Jamie, what's someone going to do with a character or a HeroClix like Foggy Nelson or Ben Urich?
I'm so happy that they put these figures in here because they're just, you know, they're average people without powers, but basically they serve to, they'll have support powers. Sometimes they'll have powers that will give a special boost to, you know, if it's Foggy Nelson to Daredevil because they're friends, something like that. And they've been doing more and more of this recently. Urich is the recent in a series of reporter characters that have this shared trait that if you get them close enough, it just shuts down another character's powers. It's really fun to see, you know, regular characters. They used to do them almost as just bystander tokens that would just die with one shot. So they're getting a lot, kind of a bigger role to play in HeroClix, which is really fun to see.
Last thing we're going to touch on today before we wrap up, on the back of one of our boxes, obviously we see some, Jamie, these are the super rares, correct me if I'm wrong? 4 of the Chase figures. 4 of the Chase figures, sorry. Gladiator Hulk, Shadowland Daredevil, David Aja, Hawkeye, and the very, very recent Captain America in his Hydra costume. Real quick before Jamie tells us about the Captain America figure in a second, this Gladiator Hulk, it's going for big bucks on eBay. So if someone shows up with one of these, they're gonna just wreck. They're gonna wreck it. Jamie, tell us about the Captain America real quick, and then we'll tell people where they can find him.
Yeah, the Captain America, unfortunately we did not pull one, but he's really fun because he can be on an Avengers team or he can be on a Hydra team, but he's the most fun to pair with Avengers because he will turn all of your other Avengers into Hydra characters with the Hydra keyword and the Hydra team ability. Again, just like I like any figure that lets you use more figures, I like figures that let you use characters on different teams than they normally would be. So suddenly Thor is a Hydra agent and, you know, all fun is to be had.
Nice. Avengers, Defenders War, coming to a gaming store near you or a comic shop May 10th. Make sure to pick them up. We'll have a huge gallery of these over at Comicbook.com, and we'll see you next time.